Hey, this is Paige Schreiber on the campus of Huntington University, and you're listening to Rooted, an in-depth conversation with people on interesting topics that matter to the Forrester family. Make sure you subscribe to Rooted on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Spotify or Google Play, or anywhere that has podcasts. Also, make sure to listen to Forrester Radio on 105.5 WQHU, Radio with Roots. Today, I'm joined by Josh Wilson, a senior Bio-PreMed major, and we are going to be discussing indecisiveness and how to reassure yourself in your decisions. So, hi, Josh.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today.
Of course, Paige.
You know, great to talk to a friend once in a while.
Yeah.
It must be different for you being on the other side of the podcast when you used to be the interviewer a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I used to be interviewing people here. This is quite a shock for me. It's quite different.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk to you about what your journey has been like through college and how you got to where you are today, and how your journey can help others who may seem lost in college. So why don't you just start from just the beginning and lead into why you chose Huntington as your school?
Yeah, so, okay. I didn't have the best GPA in high school, to be honest, and Huntington was the only place that actually accepted me, which is pretty interesting. But aside from that, I probably could have applied myself and applied more other places. But one of the things that drew me here was the close, relationships I would be able to build with the professors, because when I visited here, I got to sit down with two professors and talk to them for a long while. And when I visited Central Michigan University, in contrast, they were much harder to get a hold of, the professors. I stood in line for a half an hour just to talk to one professor for 5 minutes or something like that.
So you chose Huntington as your school. What made you want to choose broadcasting? Did you do anything in high school to lead up to that?
Not a whole lot. It was mostly just announcing players' intros in before basketball games. But I've been into sports my whole life, and that's really what drew me to broadcasting. Was I wanted to be in sports broadcasting. It was really interesting to me, just the way it was filmed and everything like that. It was just something I was really into.
Awesome, that's really cool. So, sadly, after 2 years of broadcasting, a lot of us missed you once you decided to leave, and you changed to OT. So what made you decide that broadcasting really wasn't for you and OT really was?
Yeah, so I changed first semester of sophomore year, and really it was a change that I thought was coming for a while. I didn't really feel like broadcasting was where God was leading me to. I feel like healthcare is where God really wanted me to be. And so you'll find out a little bit about this later, but I really felt like I should do something in healthcare, as I had felt for a really long time. But to be honest, I felt kind of scared that I wouldn't have the knowledge, I guess, to be able to do the hard academics and things like anatomy and before that. So that's kind of why I did broadcasting as well. That's another reason, because I was fearful that I couldn't actually do that hard classes that were involving a lot of science and math. So OT was something that really looked interesting to me, and I had a really good conversation with Nicole Scheiman. She introduced me to the world of OT, and it was good. I really enjoyed when I was there, but I just felt still I was kind of a half measure, because I made the move from broadcasting to OT, but I didn't really go all the way. But
yeah. So what in OT? Because how long were you in OT actually?
I was in OT from, what was it? So I switched the first semester of sophomore year, and then I was that up until the very first week of this semester. So about a year and a half, a little more than a year and a half.
Yeah, so what about OT? Did you feel like you still weren't fulfilling that call God's been asking you to? What do you think was missing from OT?
Well, there's a couple things, but mainly it was just I felt like I should be doing it's just not really what I was feeling like I was called to, and I felt like being a PA was what I was feeling like God was calling me to for a long time. There was nothing wrong with OT. Things I liked about it was I really liked the patient interaction, but I felt like God's purpose for my life, I guess, was just not in that way. So.
Nice. Yeah, so then you ended up with Bio-PreMed. What led you to, like, change to Bio-PreMed? Because, like, even from broadcasting to OT was, like, a huge change, and then OT to Bio-PreMed.
Yeah, so this first week of the first semester, of the fall semester, I was just kind of going back and forth. I was just thinking a lot and praying a lot about really what I should do, what I could do, because I knew that if I were to continue as an OTA, I still could do like PA school after, because you need like healthcare hours, and being an OTA would fulfill that. But I just felt like I would much rather be in the classes like that require or for the biology major. And so that's what prompted the switch. And another thing was, after last year, I took anatomy and physiology as a prerequisite for the OTA program, and I did really well in that class. And that kind of gave me the self-confidence to make me think that, oh yeah, I can do hard classes like chemistry, and I can do hard classes like cell bio. And so that's really what like drove me to do something drastic, like change majors first week of senior year.
Yeah. So was there any point in time that you decided that maybe I shouldn't have changed from broadcasting to the OT, or like maybe you should have like stayed in OT or broadcasting at all, or was it just like, yeah, this is where I need to be at this point in time?
Not really. When I shifted over from broadcasting to OT, I thought that was the right choice. I still felt like kind of that I had somewhere to go, but in general, like I've been happy with like both of the transitions from broadcasting to OT, and then from OT to Bio-PreMed. So. Nice,
yeah. So some may look at this as like in your senior year, like just changing your major again as like an indecisive and a waste of money. What would you like say like to that, like through your whole journey?
Well, it's definitely indecisive, and as for waste of money, well, I guess we'll see about that. But I don't know. I guess there are good things that can come from this too. So next year I will be staying a fifth year, which will be more money, obviously, and more like time out of potential career. But I mean, there are other positives as well that like I could not have foreseen. For example, like next year I'll be serving again as an RA for my third year. That wouldn't have been possible if I would have only done 4 years. I'll also be serving as vice president of SGA next year, which will be very exciting. But something that I've been thinking about recently is that if I had came in as a freshman, like into chemistry, I honestly think I would have thought it was like too hard, and I would have thought like I wouldn't have been able to do it because I wouldn't have had the self-confidence that I had built through other classes. And then I think I would have wasted my time that way. I think I would have changed my major to something else, maybe to broadcasting, I don't know. But I think this way it really did work out for me. Like, it's kind of incredible, honestly.
Yeah, that's really cool. So do you think that you would have benefited from maybe taking a year off of school? Like, because like it's been this long, but do you think like at any point in time, like switching from broadcasting to OT or OT to Bio-PreMed, like that you should have taken a year off to kind of collect your thoughts?
Yeah, I think a gap year would have been helpful, especially like right after high school. That I think that would have given me a good opportunity to really pursue my interests, see what was involved in broadcasting, what was involved in potential healthcare careers. I think that would have been a good idea for me to do, but I mean, can't do anything about that now, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what do you think like led you to believe that like Bio-Med, like after all these switches, was definitely the one that you had to choose, like that you were called to?
Yeah, so I think it was my freshman year of high school. My grandma got really sick and she passed away. And it's just something that has been in my heart since then, that I've just wanted to help people who are sick. And healthcare is the way like I feel like God has called me to interact with people of this world and how I can use my talents for his purpose. And so that's the main reason. And the confidence that I gained in my previous classes is really what gave me the ability to know that I can do that, and like if God is calling me to do it, He will like give me the qualities that will make it possible. So.
Yeah. And then, so in the end, you're probably happy with your decision and everything you've made so far?
I am very happy. I'm very glad it all worked out this way, and I'm glad to be studying what I am now. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And in the end, is it worth it for the 5th year that you're taking to get through all of this?
I guess time will tell, but now it seems like it will be worth it based on the extracurricular activities that I will be doing next year, and as well as the extra like relationships I will be able to build too. So
that's awesome. And then what do you hope to accomplish with your major once you finally graduate? What are you expecting to get out of it? Like, what kind of field or work do you want to do?
Yeah, so the hope is now to go to physician assistant school, which is typically a 24-month program, and then I would work probably in a hospital healthcare setting. Not 100% sure where that would be or when that would be, but I mean that would be the hope right now. So.
Awesome. And then, do you have any advice for someone who may be undecided or is scared about changing their major kind of late in the game?
Yeah. So just my advice would be talk to the ERC. They have a lot of good resources, and they're really good with those types of things. They'll help you out. And also, if you're interested in something, just like shoot the professor an email. It doesn't always like list the things, but you can go and search online, see what professors have to say about it. Also, talk to your friends who are in that major. I think that can be really helpful too. See what they have to say about it. See what they think about your idea and I think they can give really good insight into what the major is actually like too. So.
Oh, great. Well, thank you, Josh, for taking the time out of your day to talk with me.
Paige.
It's always nice catching up with you. And thank you guys for listening to this episode of Rooted. Have a great rest of your day, guys. And that was this week's episode of Rooted. Thank you so much to Josh Wilson for joining me and talking about topics that matter to the Huntington University students. Please remember to subscribe to Rooted and listen to Forrester Radio on 105.5 WQHU. Stay rooted, HU.